my friends, it's Bella and welcome to another day in lockdown life. How are you guys doing? Same thing for us here, just home, watching things on telly, reading books, same as everybody else. The news as far as our country goes, if you're listening to me from America, you know that our Prime Minister has got this coronavirus and he's in hospital. He was very, very sick and he's still very ill, still very sick. There's hope that he's going to pull through. He seems to be sort of up in spirits and keeping okay. He hasn't got any worse, but not over the last 24 hours anyway. But he has had a nasty dose of it, and it's sort of it's surprising, really. I hope the results of what's happened through this could carry on. You know, nobody's putting the Prime Minister down. There's no different parties backstabbing, or nobody's doing that. There's no particular tabloid press that's either for the left or the right and, you know, putting the other side down and saying it should have been dealt with better, and, you know, all those things that they normally do. It seems that a time like this, it seems to kind of bring people together, and I really hope that some of that lasts, because, you know, people, you can't go out, but people that pass the window, even, you know, if you're looking out the window, they wave to you, and it's sort of, we're all in this together, and it's a global thing, and it's awful what's happening, and the lives that have been lost are awful, and I can't even begin to imagine if it was a member of my family. It's awful. But on the other side of that, there's a togetherness, like we're all fighting this together, and it is like, I mean, it's not like wartime. People say, oh, it's like wartime. Well, of course it's not like wartime, because during the war, there was no social media. Most people didn't even have a telephone. And it was just the radio, and you sort of sat round and waited for the news to come on so you could know what was happening. You couldn't get in touch with anybody. It's not like the war in the sense now we can talk to anybody all around the world due to social media, and thank God for that during this particular time. So it's not like the war, but the kind of feeling of pulling together, and what matters most in life has come to the top, you know. Survival of all of us, and we're all pulling that together. And I hope, please God, when this awful thing is over, that maybe that can stay in our minds, that maybe we won't go back to that I'm right, never mind, I'm right, you know, pull the ladder up, Jack kind of attitude. Because the attitude of people is better. It's kind of, I don't know why that's happened, but it has, and it's just nice. That side of it is nice, that you're all in it together. Whether you're here in America or any part, China, wherever you are, it's a global thing, and it shows you how very small the world is, doesn't it, really? But what have you been doing yourselves to entertain yourselves? I have been on the TV. I've been catching up with my old series that I love. Not much to the entertainment of Baz, I've got to tell you, but I love the old American cop series. I just love them. I mean, most of you know I love Columbo, which I do, and Murder, She Wrote. I loved that, and I used to like Quincy. I like those kind of older series, because this is going to make me sound really old, I know it is, but the new ones, the new although I like some of the new kind of American cop series, I do like them because I like the murder mystery kind of detective things. I always have them. But some of them, I can't tell one from the other. They all look absolutely perfect people and models. So even you've got one series, and I'll go out the room and come back in, and it'll change. And I'll say to Becca, "What's happening now?" She says, "That's a different one, Mum." I said, "Well, that's the same woman." No, it's not, Mum. But they all look this exactly the same as each other, and they're all so utterly glamorous. Now, I love glamour. You know that, guys. I mean, I love all the glamour, but they are all so exactly that. I mean, even the road sweeper looks like he's, just fell out of Gucci. It's perfect hair and all veneers, and everybody just looks like that. And although sometimes the stories are good, that kind of puts me off a bit. I like a little bit of I like a little bit of Columbo and now Vera. I don't know why. I just I do enjoy some of them. Some of them I do, but they seemed all to be much of a match, and I just can't seem to tell one from the other. So I've been doing a lot of old American ones. We've been watching a series called Liar. I don't know if you've got it in the States yet, but the last one was on last night, and it's really, really good. I don't want to tell you too much of the plot, but it's like a whodunit. There's a guy who he rapes a girl, and she thinks he's got away with it, but she is determined. She's very strong, and it turns out completely different to how you think it would. And it's one of those ones, oh my goodness, I didn't see that coming, one of those programs. So that's called Liar. If you get that, or you can see that, or if you haven't watched it and you're in this country, get on catch up, because it is worth a watch. That I've been watching a lot of the comedies again, the ones that I like. Well, we both like, and we're such big Fools and Horses lovers, both of us. Do you know, I could watch that, and I have watched it 10 times over, but I still laugh, and I still want to watch it again. I just think that is such an amazing, amazing series. And John Sullivan, who wrote Only Fools and Horses, he passed away sadly, because they were thinking about making sort of a couple of final ones, as they got much older in life, obviously. I mean, David Jason, who plays Del Boy's in his 70s now, but he passed away sadly. But what a talent that man was for really getting the absolute right cast and the right settings, and the show's amazing. I mean, it's such an iconic show in the UK, and I don't know anybody that doesn't like Fools and Horses. I mean, it's just amazing, and David Jason as Del Boy is just an iconic character, and he's wonderful, and to me it's the best sitcom ever made. I absolutely love it. So we've been watching some of that as well. We've been watching, obviously trying to catch up with the news about what's happening. And BBC have a news channel that's now just purely based for the coronavirus. And we've been watching that now and again during the day, just to see, about catching up, and just making sure we know everything that's going on. As far as shopping goes, that's still difficult. I mean, I've been on this morning to see if I can get some slots. We can't leave the house, as you know, we're on shutdown. But there's nothing for the next fortnight. There's nothing anywhere that anybody delivers. But what they do is they put a few slots in during the day. So you've got to just keep going on. So like every half an hour during the day, I'm just checking to see which supermarket. I've got all the supermarkets on my pad, you know, and I just push each one to see if any slots have come on. And you just got to grab them that quick. It's just crazy. The shopping situation is just absolutely crazy. Now books. If anybody, it is a time we can read, isn't it? Because we don't normally read as much as I think people are now, because we haven't got the time, have we? But I wanted to show you some books that I've read that I've absolutely loved. Okay, so the first one is called The Note. It's by Zoe Forbig, I think you pronounce it. It looks like this. So my books are on Kindle, so it looks like this. This is such a great book. It's such a great book. It's about, I'll tell you just the beginning, because obviously I won't spoil it if you want to read it, but it's about a girl, and she sees a guy on the train. He's new, and she kind of just falls for him. You know, he gets on the train. It's kind of love at first sight for her. And this goes on for really some time, a long time. And she plucks up the courage and she writes a note, and she says, you know, I've watched you for ages, and I really think, you know, we could get on, and words to that effect, you know. And she plucks up the courage, and one morning she passes him and she slips it in his pocket. When they're in the crowd getting off the train, she slips it in his pocket, and she includes her email address. Well, when she gets home, she's looking for days, looking at the email address, and then suddenly it pops up. And he says, I'm very, very flattered. He's really nice. And he says, I'm very, very flattered that you should write me this. And it must have taken courage. You know, very much it would be nice to meet up. I'm actually with someone. I have a partner. So that's definitely not appropriate, but thank you very much. And then it goes on from there, what happens to them. And it's just an absolutely amazing story. I really loved it. I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed it. So the next one is by John Cheetham, and that's called Who Is She? Now, a woman wakes up in a hospital bed with no memory of who she is whatsoever. She has no clue who she is. The guy that tries to find out, the detective that tries to find out, forms a bond with her. He's on her case. But he can't find out. There's no way anybody can find out who this woman is. But he does grow to like her, and he has a bond with her. He's lost his wife recently, so he's very sort of cautious about any sort of relationship. But it's a whodunit. It's very much a whodunit. It's a mystery, a thriller, but it's a page turner. It really is a page turner. And people die. People are turning up dead, and when he investigates that, it somehow leads back to this girl. They don't know how, they don't know who she is, but somehow the roads lead back to this girl. So it sounds, I don't think I'm explaining it very well, but it is such a good book. It's such a good gripping book. You know, one of those books when you think, I'll make a cup of tea. No, I'll just read another couple of pages. It's one of those, and I really highly recommend that too. That's Ben Cheetham, Who Is She? And my last one is an audiobook, and it's by Marianne Keyes, and it's called The Break. This is on Audible. Marianne Keyes, if none of you're not sure of her, she's an Irish writer, and she is brilliant. Her writing is brilliant. If you've heard of Watermelon or Lucy Sullivan's Getting Married, she's Rachel's Wedding. She's written so many books, and they are just so good, so funny. She's a really funny, comical person. Even when you see her interviewed, she is. And I love her books. And this one's called Break. And it's about a couple, and they've been married for some years, and they've got children, and you know, he comes home one night and he wants a break. He doesn't want a divorce, doesn't want to leave her. He doesn't want a, you know, permanent separation or anything like that, but he wants a year off. And he says to her, during that year, you can do what you like. I can do what I like. You can travel if you want to. You can, you know, go with other men, you know, have relationships with other people. I can have relationships with other women. But I want to come back. I want to come back. I just want the year off. Well, you have to see how it goes, because she writes brilliantly. She really does. I don't want to tell you too much, but The Break by Marianne Keyes, in fact, anything by Marianne Keyes is just fabulous. So that's it for my books for today, guys. I would suggest any one of those, and anyone by the various authors that I've mentioned. So, what have you read? Let me know anything you like. What type of book do you like? Because they're varied, really. And the last couple weren't so serious as the first two. And, you know, I like thrillers. I do like thrillers in films and in books. I do like a thriller. Oh, and I'll tell you something else Baz and I have watched. Over the last 3 days, we've watched the Da Vinci series, the Dan Browns. So the first one was the Da Vinci Code, and the second one is Angels and Demons, and the third one was Inferno. And they're all the 3 stories that Dan Brown wrote on that particular series, and so good. I'm an ants in your pants person. I'm up and down all the time, you know. So anything sort of like a film where you've got to watch it, you've got to sit and watch it to get it and really grasp the story, doesn't always work for me, because I'm up and down all the time. But while this is happening and you've got no option but to sit down, I've been watching them and I thoroughly enjoyed them, and Baz did as well. We really liked those. So if you read the Da Vinci Code, or if you've never watched the film, I said honestly, and you've got the time to really watch it, they're really good films, really good. Okay, that's my lot. I'm not going to go on about anything else today. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, and don't go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Just do what your government's asking you to do, because that's what we're doing. As I said, take care, and God bless all of you. And thank you for being here with me, guys. Thank you for being here with me. I'll see you again tomorrow.